Boruto Super Vortex Chapter 26 shows Konohamaru going off to get interrogated by Lord Kobu. And what's going to happen is Konohamaru is going to give them some of the pieces, and then they're going to come to maybe the wrong conclusion, or they're going to try to put together like a little story of their own, right? So Konohamaru is going to tell them that like the only people who knew about Boruto's cuffs having like the digital code was Shikamaru, Konohamaru, and the other guy, Ibiki, that was in the room. Only a very few amount of people, and yet Boruto still somehow escaped, right? And then they're going to talk about like how Mitsuki was brought into the room, and then maybe they can start putting the pieces together that Shikamaru asked him to like bring him in and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy the amount of details that like have built up to this point and have helped Boruto and Kashin Koji progress forward. And then they're going to get into the topic of the Sand Village mission that they just had and why Boruto swept in and helped Konohamaru the way he did. And they're going to maybe come to the wrong conclusion that Konohamaru is helping them, and that's why Boruto needed to step in and help him out, right? So all of the little things that just happened, like Boruto escaping and Boruto entering the village and Boruto having a collaborator, there's a mole in the village, right? They're going to point the finger at Konohamaru and basically say that like, you have a relationship with him or you know him and stuff like that, you know? And then they can go into like deeper, you know, kind of motives, like why would I work with Boruto? Because you want to be Hokage? Because you don't like the 8th Hokage and, you know, the 7th Hokage was in your way or stuff like that? I don't know. They'll just try to spin it in some kind of like ridiculous way that makes it seem plausible and that Konohamaru is the villain. But, you know, overall, I think that this interrogation of Konohamaru is going to be... It's going to be important, you know what I mean? It's going to be important for his character. It's going to be important for Shikamaru and for Kashin Koji and for Boruto. And let's just say, what if Konohamaru decides to basically confess? Or what if he's like, you know what, maybe the best thing to do or to help out Boruto or whatever's going on is to basically lie and reveal it's me. Because if that mole or whoever's leaking information to them or collaborating with them is actually helping us in the long run, then it might actually be worth it for me to like go with it for the moment. Try to be like a little traitor, if you will. But I don't think that's the direction they're going to go in. And long story short, I don't think they're going to come up with anything on Konohamaru. But if they were, it would be about how Boruto escaped and why Boruto saved Konohamaru, you know? And that might bring up some other questions that could lead Konohamaru to being like detained or pointed out as the leak. And then with that, Shikamaru's kind of like, well, he's not, it's me, but I need him to be locked up so that way I'm free to be Hokage and help Kashin Koji and Boruto and stuff with the invasion that's to come with the Shinju. And then we'll get into that some more. But it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out, how Konohamaru's interrogation in the long run is going to affect Shikamaru's standing in the Hidden Leaf Village, and you know how him being locked up is probably a bad thing or a bad choice, or we don't know how it's going to affect the Prescient's visions, but let's just say that maybe it's a good thing if Konohamaru gets locked up for a little bit, you know what I mean? And it's kind of funny because it's like it would be kind of cool if Konohamaru, during like the meeting with the elders, if he stood 10 toes on it and was like, Boruto, I'm on Boruto's side here. He saved my life. He wouldn't attack the village. He's not trying to hurt us. Like, he's on the good side. You know what I mean? I hate you elders. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of wish that he had stood 10 toes on it and whatnot. But he didn't, so maybe getting locked up isn't the worst thing for him. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like he's doing much else on the outside. You know, let's be real here. But anyways, that's it. And until chapter 27, until we see how the interrogation goes or what happens with that, we're kind of speculating at this point. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Konohamaru's interrogation is going to go good for Konohamaru or bad for Konohamaru? And do you think that the elders or Lord Kobu is going to try to spin it as like Konohamaru is the villain or like the leak or whatever, you know? Let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah.